Hey, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those who want to call me, you can. This will be another video I only film once a year. I actually didn't start this until last year. I'll just be talking about all the empties and kind of like my purchases from the past year. If you haven't seen my makeup recap where I did monthly updates, I will leave that series linked below my description box and at the end of the video. And I'll also be reflecting on my video that I did last year planning to pan for 2024, just talk about if my goals were met, what I thought about those goals, etc. So kind of just like a recap on the entire 2024 makeup year. First, I'll start with my empties and talking about all that. If you have not yet watched my December makeup recap, please go watch that first. I don't want to spoil anything. But for the entire year, I finished, this is a record for me, and it's actually like literally double my last year's MP. I finished 104 makeup items this year, and I never thought I would make it to 100, let alone surpass that number. Last year I was so, and I mean, like, I should have been excited because that was also a record. Last year I finished, I can't remember if it was 52 or 53. I think it was 53 makeup items that I finished last year, or like, yeah, in the year of 2023. And I finished double that, which is just crazy. Like, I know I gave myself a lot of crap about buying a lot of makeup this year when I was supposed to be on like a strict low buy, but I also finished so much, so clearly it wasn't all for nothing. Like, I'm clearly finishing a lot of makeup. If I take like my empties plus my makeup declutters, by the way, the amount of makeup I purchased is 77 items, which is still a lot. But if I combine all of my makeup empties with my makeup declutters, almost double the amount of makeup left my collection than what came into my collection, and most of that was empties. So I also feel like I definitely should have bought less makeup this past year, but I'm definitely improving, and I have been every year since I started panning. I feel like not only is the actual number that I'm like of makeup items that I'm emptying out is improving, but the overall proportion of stuff that is entering versus leaving my collection is getting a lot better. For example, in 2021, like before I started panning, I brought in so much makeup into my collection, and I probably finished maybe like 10 to 15 things, and I brought like well over 100 items into my collection in just 1 year. I did a little bit of math. I was counting. It's very late in the day. This is the second video I'm filming today. I'm a little tired. This makeup has been on for a while. I just reapplied my lipstick after I ate. All that is to say, I'm tired, and I don't know if this math is like correct down to the exact number, but I was counting, and by my numbers, out of the 104 makeup items that I finished, 14 of them were brow products, which, like, I know that's only a little more than 10%, but I still feel like that's a lot of brow products, considering like I just like don't, unless I'm running out and I need to buy another one to replace something, I don't think about buying brow products or like finishing them up a lot. So I just thought that was interesting that I finished that many this year. For eyes, which I count as all, because I know some people count eyebrows and eye products in the same category. I don't. That includes like mascara, eyeliner. I also counted, so like technically I only like fully finished 103 products, because I counted like if I hit pan in every palette, I counted that as an empty. So I should put a little caveat, like I only completely emptied out 101 items, which is still really good, but I also included that. So if we're taking all that into consideration, because I'm going to be decluttering those eyeshadow palettes anyway, which is why I consider them to be empties, 20 non-eyebrow eye products, Then for lips, I counted 28 empties, which I feel like I also finished a lot of lip products last year, but considering the what was it, flush them out project that I was doing, I was like splitting my attention between so many different lip products this year, and I still managed to finish 28 lip products between lipsticks, lip gloss, lip oil, lip balm, lip liner, lip primers, everything that like I consider to be makeup. I don't count like clear lip treatments as makeup, and I still finished 28. If I actually counted all of those categories correctly, that means that I finished 42 face products. So, you know, base products, complexion, cheek, setting spray, setting powder, stuff like that. I finished, that's like almost half of the items that I finished. And like, I know that makes sense because that's like most of what you're putting on your face anyway. But in the past, I've never really been good at finishing face products other than like face powder, because I go through powders very quickly. I have never been very good at finishing them, but I think because I focus so much attention, especially in my like year-long project pan, on finishing face items, I was able to do really well with those empties. So just as far as like makeup empty numbers, I'm really happy with that. For some extra stats, my month that I had the least amount of empties, that was February, where I only had 3 empties. That was also like the month that I went crazy because in the beginning of the year I was doing 2 out, 1 in, and I bought 9 things. So least amount of empties, February, and then hopefully you watched the December makeup recap. My largest makeup empties month was December. I finished 16 makeup items in the month of December, including my little elf quad, which if you don't count that, that's 15, but that would still be the month with the most empties, tied with April, which also had 15. The month or months that I bought the most makeup items are actually 3. They're all tied. It's September, October, and November. So clearly something was happening like in fall where I just wanted to buy makeup. Fall also is like, that's my season. That's my favorite color stories, or like just color schemes. And that's when like, I don't know, I just feel like the best stuff comes out in fall. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe I was stress buying because I mean the past 2 years entirely have been super stressful, but I was very stressed out then. I did have one no buy month, which was March, and that's because in February I went so crazy. Not like the most purchases out of any month, but as I said, at that point I had 2 out, 1 in, so like as far as points, that was my worst month, which is why I went on a no buy in March. I was supposed to be going on a no buy in December as well, but I was just finishing so many makeup items and there were some like really good sales. I just wanted to take advantage of them, and I still ended up with +1 in my beauty bank, so worth it. Now let's talk about how the year went as far as my plan to pan for 2024. Some are really good, some are really bad. So the first one, which is more on the I didn't do so well side, is glitter nail polishes, which again I have in this year's plan to pan for 2025. It was in my plan to pan for 2023 as well. It's just something that's always going to be there until I finish all of them, which will take a few years at the very least. I actually, just before this, I put on a glitter nail polish. I feel like I could finish this one in January. But anyway, we're talking about 2024. Yeah, I did not do well with those. I think like pretty much halfway through the year I kind of just stopped panning them. I kind of lost interest. It was like a lot of effort. Again, I've been stressed constantly for the past few years. That's the first thing to go. I always say like my nails are the first thing that I drop when I'm super stressed. So I wasn't painting them, and then I started putting other polishes in other projects, and I was prioritizing those. So definitely did not do very well in this category, but I have a plan specifically for next year. So I know no matter what happens, I'm going to do better than I ever have with my glitter polishes in 2025, and I still have hope. I also said my Too Faced blush and my Bobbi Brown bronzer, which if you watched my plan to pan for 2025 or my makeup inventory video, you will know that I frankened those two together, which I actually said in that video I wanted to do, and it turned out very well. Those were my two oldest products in my entire collection. They technically still are, they're just like new in the franken, but I believe they were both from 2017. I hadn't really used them. The blush was too pinky for me, and the bronzer was way too light, even though it was called medium, and too pink tone. So I just framed them to be like kind of the perfect blush shade for me, and then didn't use it. If you watched my plan to pan in 2025, again, I'll have this video linked, but I did plan on like using my Franken palette, which that is in. It's like a Franken face palette of like, it's just like a hodgepodge. Anyway, I'm planning on doing something with that palette, so it will definitely get used. If I end up panning any powder blush throughout 2025, it will be that one. Not only is it a pretty color, but I just need to use it. I need to use it. The next product that I talked about in that video is my first win. It's the Fenty Mini Gloss Bomb in the shade Cheeky, which is that red orange, which I'm actually so sad about. It's like bittersweet because I loved that shade, but that was my oldest cream product in my entire collection. It was 5 years, like going on 5 years. Actually, in December of 2024, it would have been 5 years old because it was from a holiday set from 2019, but that was going into its 5th year in 2024. I needed to get that out, so I used that up. I really enjoyed the color. I loved it. I've been trying to find a replacement for it without success, but at least I finished it and got to enjoy it while it was still good. Then I also said I wanted to finish all of my Bite Beauty lip crayons, which I finished all of them except for one, which in my defense, it's the red shade, and reds, as you may know, are like, it's pretty much the hardest color for me to wear. I don't like red, period, unless it's like the red orange, then I love it. Orange is my favorite color, but I don't like a red. That was in my Flush Them Out project pan though, and I did meet my goal on it, so I used that a decent amount of times, and I'm still going to pan it in 2025. If I need a red lipstick, I'll make sure that's the one I reach for. I do have other red lipsticks though, unfortunately, so I shouldn't neglect the others, but I do really like that one for a red. I feel like that one's more of a true red, which most people say is like the perfect classic red, but because I'm so warm toned, it just looks very cool on me. I think it's still pretty, but I wouldn't say it's like my perfect red. I still haven't found a perfect red for myself, but I'm kind of just done searching for one because that's what got me into this mess of having like 3 red lipsticks when I don't wear them. Moving on, and speaking of another red lipstick, actually, my next item or items that I was talking about are my Atomic Makeup liquid lipsticks. At the time, I had 7. I'm currently panning, trying to finish 2 of them, and then I think I still have the other 5 that are waiting to be in a project. Even though I haven't finished any yet, I would still say like I want to say that's like 50-50 because I am pretty close to finishing 2 of them that are currently in projects. I also had one of them in a project this year, so I did get some use on it, and then the other 4, I mean, I haven't used the other 4, but they're not smelling weird at all. One of them is a shade that I've finished 2 tubes of previously anyway, so I know I can get through it. And then the others are like really wearable shades for me, so I know that as long as I work on them, I will be able to get through them. And I still have a little bit of time because they still smell perfectly fine and they're not drying out. So I just need to actually finish them. But as far as 2024, yeah, 50-50, because I've been working on them, but they're not done. Then I talked about some fragrances. So first I mentioned my Bath and Body Works, which I would say is a success, because even though I still have 3 of the ones that I said I wanted to pan, I have 4 body sprays from Bath and Body Works in total. But one of them is my newest one, and it's a scent that I do like. The other 3 were just like super old, and I was kind of over the scents and body sprays in general. I still have technically 4, because one I have 2 of, but I still have all of those. But all the ones that I was working on, they're like less than halfway, or they have like less than half the product left. And then I finished a bunch of the body washes and body lotions. So all I have left is one mini lotion that my friend gifted me, and then one like body cream that goes with one of the body sprays, but that'll take me like 2 months to finish. So I'm very confident that I can finish those, and then hopefully I can finish the body sprays. But considering I was working on them literally the entire year, I would say that's a success, because I was panning them. Even though I didn't finish everything, I never kind of like gave up on them. I also mentioned the oldest perfumes in my collection, so that would be my Machino perfumes, which is the original Fresh, and then the Fresh Pink. I finished the Fresh Pink, and then the Fresh, obviously I didn't finish, but that's in my plan to pan for 2025. It's my only focus perfume, because it's the like only like really old perfume in my collection. I know that I'll finish it if it's what I'm focusing on. Then I finished my bottle of C, which was a bittersweet pan, because I really love that perfume, but I didn't want to buy a full-size bottle, and they at the time weren't selling the travel size. But literally just this past month, the travel size, they started selling it again for whatever reason out of the blue. So I bought myself a little travel size of C, and I'm so happy. I'm gonna get my grandma one too, because she loves that as well. But that was successful. And then my perfume samples. This is kind of embarrassing, because my perfume sample collection actually has grown since I made that video last year. I honestly don't know how, because I've been panning at least 1 perfume sample this entire year. A lot of the times I was panning 2 at once. So I honestly have no idea how that happened. Like, I would get perfume samples in orders. Sometimes I asked for them, sometimes they would just give it to me like I didn't want them. But I don't, sorry, my fingers and wrists will not stop cracking. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna keep my hands still. But this part is just embarrassing, because like how did that happen? I have over 50 perfume samples in my collection right now, and if I thought it was a problem then, it's definitely a problem now. I do have a specific project plan for next year for my perfume samples, so if that interests you, I know a lot of people aren't into fragrance, which is why my fragrance videos pretty much do the worst on my channel for how much effort I put into them. But if fragrance interests you, or something like that, you know, piques your fancy at all, stay tuned. But that's rolling over, of course. My mascara minis, I would consider this to be a success. I had at the time 6 little, you know, deluxe samples of those little mascara minis. They were all black mascaras, and I just felt so overwhelmed by them. Even though like some people would say that's like a perfectly fine amount, I was just like so overwhelmed by having 6 mini mascaras, because I only go through about 4 a year. Granted, these were all minis, and I tend to go through them about twice as fast, but because they were all black mascaras, I could only use 1 at a time. So I was panning pretty much until December. This entire year of 2024, I was panning a black and a brown mascara at the same time. I managed to get, like, at the current moment, I got my mini mascara collection down to only 3, which just feels so much better. I know that I'll finish those in 2025, so I'm not feeling overwhelmed anymore. Even if I happen to get another one, I'm not gonna ask for any, but even if I happen to get another one in some sort of like gift with purchase, I will feel okay about that because I know I can finish 4. But for now, I only have 3 and I'm so happy, and that was a panning success for me. And then finally, the last thing that I wanted to pan in 2024 was all my makeup samples. I had so many foundation, concealer, primer, blush samples. I just felt so overwhelmed by them, and I never ever ask for makeup samples. It hasn't happened even once, and I always get them, and a lot of the times I get them in shades that would never work for me anyway. So I really just wanted to finish all of my makeup samples if I could, and I didn't finish all of them. I still have quite a bit of primer samples, which I really need to take care of. But what I mostly got through, which was like, you know, the biggest stressor, was all of my complexion samples, like foundation and concealer. I think I only have like 1 more pack of foundation samples, and then I have a pack of like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter samples, and then everything else is primer, which I can get through probably in like a week if I just use 1 little sachet a day. So that's a success, I think, because the amount of makeup samples that I have, at least as far as like complexion samples, has halved at least, and it just feels so much better. One thing that I did want to mention that doesn't have to do with anything I just talked about, well, it kind of does, but something that I'm actually so proud of myself for is this year I did not buy a single lipstick. No lipstick has come into my collection in the year of 2024, and I'm just so, like, genuinely, I'm so proud of myself because historically, lipstick has always been my biggest weakness. I love lip products in general, which is why I still bought a lot of like lip gloss and stuff like that this year, that's its own problem, which you'll see in upcoming projects for 2025. But as far as lipsticks, lipstick has always been my biggest weakness. Even before I was into makeup, I still always wore lipstick. That was like one of the first things I ever wore as far as makeup, and I have worn lipstick almost every day since I started wearing makeup. I just love lipstick. That's always been, even when I was trying to do no-buys, that was always the thing that I would like break my no-buy for. So to go an entire year without buying a lipstick, I want to give myself a little pat on the back. I just feel so accomplished. Now I'm not going to go crazy next year. I don't want to buy a bunch of makeup, but I think, like, considering I finished, what was it, 28? Yeah, 28 lip products, a lot of them being lipsticks. I think I'll allow myself to, if I really want to buy a lipstick, I'll just let myself dabble in a little bit. But that's all I have to talk about. This video was kind of all over the place. This didn't go exactly how I expected to like recap everything, but yeah, I'm like, overall, if I had to like sum up all of my thoughts for my panning and my collection for 2024, I do feel accomplished. I'm definitely not perfect, but as I always say, we strive for progress, not perfection, and I do feel like I'm progressing, buying less, using more, and kind of just like making more thoughtful purchasing decisions. As I said in my makeup recap finale, I'm not planning on doing a beauty bank in 2025 just because I don't have as much time to film, and I feel like also I'm not going to like throw away everything that I've learned this year and like the restrictions that I've placed on myself, but I do feel like putting those like purchasing restrictions, even though I didn't always follow them, those purchasing restrictions did make me like have to wait to buy something and really think things through and prioritize things, because like, oh, if I buy this, I can't buy this. So I feel like I'm able to prioritize things better. And also there were a lot of sales that I missed because like I was out of town and I didn't have access to a computer to make a purchase during a sale, or I came home from work and I was so tired that I fell asleep and missed a sale. Missing sales, I know it sounds crazy, but like that really helped me realize that like, oh, I don't need to buy something in every single sale. And even that alone is just like changing my mindset, and I'm unlearning things. I think, okay, I'm about to tell you some lore about my childhood. Like, you know, growing up with less money, I was always like, oh, I have to get things, I can only get things on sale. And I think like I was never ever allowed to or even able to buy anything full price. But I think that's turned into, now every time there's a sale, I have to buy something because it's a sale. So I think kind of unlearning that was very helpful, especially going into 2025, not having a beauty bank, not having to buy things just because there's a sale, and then learning to like prioritize purchases and wait to buy other things will really help me. So yeah, those were all the thoughts that I had about literally everything. I've been talking for so long. I'm gonna stop here. I promise I'm done now. But that's my year summed up. I'm so excited for 2025. I'm not gonna pressure. Oh my god, I'm talking again. I'm just gonna stop here. I'll finish that thought later. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.